Josh.
Davien. The Josh and Davien show.
Hello, everybody.
This is episode 2.
Yeah.
Looks like what do we
Well, we wanted to talk about drugs.
the big D.
Not that kind of D.
No, man.
Not the D you're thinking of, you dirty
Not your
bastard.
favorite D.
Yeah. The other D. The kind that you smoke.
Drugs with a Z.
Oh. Yeah. Don't turn it off. We promise it'll be pretty okay. It'll be all right.
But I mean, okay is like what we can give you.
Yeah,
you know.
So you think you're addicted?
Oh, I think anybody who smokes the devil's lettuce more than 4 times a day is addicted. Yeah.
Right, but okay, but what are the negatives about your quote unquote addiction to marijuana? Because you can't get addicted to marijuana, so you're throwing a huge wrench in the works of hippies everywhere.
If you're gonna try to convince me you can't be addicted to marijuana, but you can be addicted to like the mental state that you're in while you smoke marijuana, I think that's the same thing. So,
oh Jesus,
come on. I mean, I
suppose it depends how you define addiction. Like, do you come down off it at all? Like, do you?
I can't like.
If you're going off of it, do you have like major negative health effects?
Irritability, majorly, and
irritability.
That's actually probably it for me.
Yeah, so that's not really an addiction.
But the positives to like not smoking it are pretty good. Like, I think more clearly, more sharp.
What does that mean?
What do you mean? I think like I have like a wet rag on my face when I'm like ripped all the time.
Yeah.
Like, go to school and start burning out and try and learn anything.
Yeah. I tried to do a bio class and I was pretty stoned most of the time.
Did you do well?
Not really.
No.
I got like 70% or 65%.
See, and I was like a C student, so to me that was like bombshell. I passed,
Yeah, man. C's get degrees.
Right. Like, I passed a psych exam, like final exam, and we had all eaten a bunch of mushrooms like 6 hours prior. And I went to school in the morning, and I was still like a little psychedelic while I was writing the test, and I got 96. So I mean, like, there's something to be said to it.
What grade was that?
No, that was like, I don't know, 8 months ago.
Fucking Rachel Nutley, eh? Gotta up the difficulty on those tests, Rachel.
I don't know, man. Like, I don't think
They ain't standardized for shit.
Yeah. No. So yeah, I'm gonna say yes. 4 times a day. I have a hard time not getting into at least 3 fucking arguments a day if I'm off it.
So then the positives are what?
I just told you. I think clearer. I can learn better.
No, the positives of being on it.
Oh, the positives of being on it besides everything. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, besides everything.
Music is my number 1 go-to for sure.
Oh yeah,
Adele.
Adele, like,
hello.
you can feel her massaging your heart.
Her lyrics move through my body and soul.
Oh man.
I mean, hello from the outside.
What a gorgeous.
I'm on board.
Yeah,
I would take a solid run at her.
Yeah, I want like a
So what about you? How much on the daily do you?
Well, I know you guys think I'm like a sage because I only smoke a wee bit.
Yeah, you're maybe,
not even every day, maybe every couple days.
Maybe you have it figured out, and we're just. That's what I mean. There's a difference. You can go without thinking about having it, right? A day.
Some days,
right?
Some days I'll
there's no fucking chance. There's not one day.
Yeah.
When I don't have it, I'm like, when is the next time I can like be stoned?
Get it.
Get it. Yeah. Like, I don't weep if I don't have it.
Tell Kevin O'Leary that.
Fuck. He might invest $1 million into our healthcare system.
Yep. Well, that's another episode.
Come on.
No.
Kevin O'Leary's a special kind of piece of trash, you know?
Yeah, you know, when I do have it, I only have just like a little bit, and then, you know.
Yeah, I'm talking like one.
And then I pass on the grass afterwards.
For the road. And then you're good for like 3 hours. I'm like waiting half hour. Ding! It's like the easy bake oven time. You know?
Yeah, you guys need to take a tolerance break.
Yeah. I've done that.
If you don't know what that is, look that up on Urban Dictionary.
Yeah.
It'll probably be on there. Maybe even Wikipedia. I don't know. I don't know how hip Wikipedia is these days.
Yeah.
So the first time you ever had marijuana?
I was 12. And it was like one of those one of those moments where like my brother was older, like he was 15 and he was already hitting the grass, and he like snuck some downstairs from my mom, and he came on down and he's like,
your mom had it?
No.
Oh.
He was just hiding it from her.
Oh, snuck it from her. Yeah.
My mom pukes on weed. She just can't do it.
Yeah. Supposed to stop puking.
Right.
Anyway.
He comes down and he's like, I'm sitting there playing Twisted Metal 3, my favorite one, and just a boy, and he comes down and he's like, here's what's happening, and I'm like, what? And he's like, I'm gonna smoke this joint, and you're gonna smoke some so that I don't get in trouble and you can't rat me out. And I'm like, oh no. And like, you know, I remember like hitting it once, like a big one, not you know, because when you're a kid, the candy bonbons smokes. Right. You just pretend to haul on those things, and to be honest,
you don't really know what a haul is. Yeah.
So I just rip on the thing as if I'm smoking a bonbon. And I start coughing, and it's like the first time you have that I've lost some life in my lungs from now on feeling is horrible. Like you're like, ha 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 ha, and like I stuck my face in the pillow, half hour of coughing before I could even like sort my shit out. And I, like, come out of the pillow and I look at him. He's like, so how do you feel? And I was fucking freaking out. Like, I was, like, not great. And he's like, I'm going to sit up here with you. We'll play Twisted Metal. 3 hours of Twisted Metal. I laid in bed. Having a panic attack. I was like, I don't like this pot. I don't like that. And then a year later, I was on it. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah. You know what they say about pot? Once you smoke it once, you're addicted for life. Once
you pot, you just don't stop.
That's funny that because most people's first time story, I didn't get high. I didn't get high. I don't know what the...
I don't believe that for a sec. Yeah. You know why they didn't get high? I know you know.
Because they don't remember.
Yeah, because they don't inhale. Probably they put the smoke in their mouth.
How do I?
They're like, how do I do it? Like, so I do this all the time and I never get high.
How do I do it? Can you light the bong for me?
Yeah. So just is that right? Is this how it? Can I?
Should I do it? Should I do it?
And when they actually, you're like, no, you gotta, you know, they're like coughing, and I don't like your way. I don't like that. It hurts my lungs. I'm like, that's because you're smoking it. And then they're stoned out of their mind, right? Like,
yeah. My first one time.
You were good, right? You were a later age.
A long time went by. Like, I think I was like 18.
Oh, wow.
19.
Yeah.
And everyone started doing it in my closer circle of friends. And then I looked up and everyone was on the pot.
I remember that time.
And, it was a good time. And everyone was on it. So I cracked. I like to pride myself on being resilient towards peer pressure. I can
vouch for that, yeah.
But that was a lot. And I was an adult. So, you know.
Out of that, you were the only one, I would say, almost. Like, you and maybe one other person. I like... So, like, you had... Like, how can you not crack when every single person you know is doing it?
Mm-hmm.
Like...
Tucker!
Give it up!
God damn it. Yeah, so... Dude, what is your deal? There's nothing happening.
There's no robbers here.
Burglars.
Dogs in the studio.
What were we talking about, Tucker? You ruined it.
Oh,
yeah. So I was like the... I was like the last
one, yeah.
Yeah. And so I can't remember if they outright asked me or if I went out, but I think we went out back to Chad's car, the green machine.
Sunfire?
Yeah. and had some, and it was good. And then, like, I think either...
You just took it well?
Yeah.
You took it well the first go?
Oh, yeah. Chad, well, I've always been very, like, careful, you know. It's a drug. Yeah. I'm not going to go insane. I've never had it before, you know.
I think that's where I and you and I fall off the deep end.
Right. You just jump.
Almost, yeah.
I don't jump.
It's a better approach.
I don't jump into any manner of my life.
Good.
I'm very not risky. So I think it was maybe the next day or something. Mm-hmm. That was the day Mom found out, and she just looked like she just looks at Tom, and like he knew what she knew, and she goes, "Really, pot? Really, Tom?" And he just, like, looks over at me and points and says, "Josh does it too!" And then, like, ran downstairs.
What a weasel. He ratted you out, eh? Just cold turkey.
Yeah.
Brothers are supposed to have
and I mean, he'd been doing it for months, and I had just done it.
That's...
Right? So
I can't believe you threw you under the bus.
Yeah. So. That's that.
Well, I mean...
But positives? I don't know. Like, I don't have those medicinal benefits that you and Tom claim to get from it. Like I have a little bit of depression and anxiety, but the pot worsens the anxiety.
Which I always found was funny, because I hear that a lot from people, is like, they don't like to smoke it because they think too much. Well, I don't think a whole lot on it. It's like the only time I'm not thinking is when I'm completely high.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe it's a mental state in itself. When you get high, like, you start to think differently because you think you should think differently. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Worst experience, would you say, on it? Have you had any?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? Like, like bad trips?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, what was yours? Worst one?
I don't know. I can't remember them specifically, but I can tell you what they're like.
Sure.
You feel like you're going to die, and then it, like, triggers a panic attack. And then you just start, like, your chest hurts and...
Mine was worse. Mine was worse than yours?
So, yeah, I think mine are bad, but I don't know.
That is bad. Like, I don't wish that fear, like, that seed of anxiety upon anybody, but mine was big concentrated weed candies.
Right.
They made it with Everclear and a few other things, and they made these, like...
Drano.
There was a point where I thought I was eating strychnine. Like, I ate the candy, and, you know, we ate it in the car. So we were just like, he said it would take an hour for this candy to set in. So my buddy and Kevin and I ate it in the car, and we started driving home. And then I forgot we had to stop off the bank, so I could put my check in the bank. So I run in, and I've already been in the bank 15 minutes. So I'm, like, starting to sweat, and I'm like, God, like, I've been 15 minutes. We got roughly, like, 40 minutes to get home. Like, I gotta hurry this up. Get the check in, get in the car. We start driving now. At the halfway point, like, over Pagan Trail, this song comes on, like, do you remember Tupac, Dear Mama? Mm. So that song comes on the radio. And for some reason, like, it hit us in a weird way. Like, I was, like, doing the whole, like, stretching my back out, pumping my chest, like, oh my God. I'm a little uncomfortable, and I don't know what, I think this is all it's going to be for the rest of the time.
Never is.
And then, we go over the train tracks. Dear Mama's still just pumping. And we both kind of, like, realize we have, like, this huge shitty grin from, like, ear to ear, both of us, and we, like, look at each other and start rapping Dear Mama as we're, like, ripping down the road.
Doesn't sound so bad.
No, right. And then I get home. We open the door, let the tuck out, do the whole deal. And I forgot that my girlfriend was going to pick me up, and I promised her, like, I was going to go to the pet store with her, and I was like...
Yeah, and it was Christmas.
Yeah, it was, like, on the Christmas break. Day one of Christmas break.
Oh, okay, but it wasn't actually Christmas Day.
No. So, I go, and I'm, like, really stoned now, like I've been doing bong rips all day. And I'm like, holy fuck, like, that's it. That's as high as I can possibly get. I'll get in the shower, get in the car, get this over with, come home and chill out, right? And I get in the shower, and I'm like, the hot water's pouring on my face. but it feels like I have really long hair because I'm really ripped, and I'm like, there's long hair in my face, but it's the water like streaming down my face. So I get out, dry off, she's at the door, and I'm like, not okay. I'm dressed, but I'm not okay.
You're still rising.
I haven't stopped. Yet. And I'm like looking at her, and I'm like, yep, let's just go. We'll get in the car, and we'll do the pet store thing. So I'm like riding passenger side, almost in dead silence. And she like turns her head slow and looks at me, and she says, "Are you fucking high?" And I'm like,
off your ass?
I'm like, no, baby. I had 2 puffs. I swear, like 2 puffs. And she's like, 2 puffs? And I'm like, yep, just 2. And she's like, okay. And I'm like, at the time I wasn't thinking about the tone she gave me, so I was like, whatever. I gotta fucking sort my shit out. I'm still getting higher. And we get to the pet store, and I like walk in, and all of a sudden there's this sound. And it's like, I like to pretend it's metaphorical, but no, like, you're that high, there was a sound. And it just goes, gong, like a gong, and your whole body starts vibrating, and you're like, oh my god, I'm as high as I'm gonna get, and this is the worst feeling in the world. And I'm like looking at this hedgehog in the cage, and I like pouring sweat. Like
Didn't they call those candies the gong or something?
We ended up calling them because
yeah.
At this point I hadn't known that at the exact same time,
the degree of which
the gong went off, it went off for Kevin at home. And I didn't know this at the time, so like, I'm actually shaking, looking like I had, just murdered somebody and was trying to get away.
Uh-huh.
And she looks at me, and she's been watching me the whole time, and I'm too stoned to realize that. And she's smiling, and she goes, "So, pet the hedgehog." And I'm like, I'm sorry. And she's like, "Pet the hedgehog." And I'm like, I can't do that. And she's like, "Why?" And I was like, I'm just a little too stoned. She's like, off of the 2 puffs, right? I'm like, yeah. She's like, okay. You can pet the hedgehog, or I'm going to scream rape. And at this time, that sounds like a panic. Like, the worst thing that could ever happen to you.
That's brutal, though. Yeah. You don't pull the rape.
I'm already worried that every single person knows that I'm about to have a nervous breakdown, right? Like, vomit everywhere. So, at this point, I'm like, I have to...
Every time a girl pulls the, or I'm going to scream rape, call her bluff.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can't... In that state, you can't call anything. So, like...
Fair enough, but you just call her bluff next time.
Okay. I'll just... Now I could. I don't even think weed candies would do it.
It's a PetSmart. There's probably like 2 people in it.
There was like... Not at this time. Come on, it's 2009. There's like 10 people in there.
That's what people used to do. They used to
go
to PetSmart.
Pet stores.
Anyway.
So I start reaching in the cage, because like I said, the defining line was, I'm touching this hedgehog, or everybody's going to look at me and know that I'm destroyed after this woman screams rape. So, I'm going to touch the hedgehog. I'm like an inch or 2 away from its back. It sneezes. It scares me so bad that I'm like, in the store, and every single person looks at me. And at this point, like, not only am I way too high, but I'm fucking upset. So I like looked at her and said, I'm waiting in the fucking car, and I just walked outside. So she knew like the day was written off. Like, she's like, I'm gonna drive him home. This was a bad joke. Like,
Yeah, very bad.
And like, I get in the door, and like, I'm talking, this high lasts like 4 hours. Terrible.
Yeah.
I puked later on that night.
It's brutal.
It was so high, yeah.
I think we're out of time.
Yeah, hugely. That's what I mean. One story takes fucking 20 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, well. That's fine. All right. That's it for this one. Yeah, we'll talk to you later.